Nolan, very good to see you. Let's break down the three biggest retirement expenses and how to control them. And you have to make sure these expenses are part of your financial plan or you may run out of money. And first, though, you do need a written income plan. The only way to combat the possibility of expenses exceeding assets is to have that written plan for retirement income, which is why it's usually step number one with you and your clients.
Yeah, thanks, Erin. An income plan is a wonderful place to start. It involves a few questions and some research, usually by the clients, but you've got to know how much you spend each month and how much you need to make each month in order to make all those ends meet, and then what role and responsibility your portfolio is going to have in filling any of those gaps. So,
Right.
a written income plan, one that's tested statistically against a wide variety of metrics, is very good to have.
Mhm. And first, we have our largest known expense, taxes.
Yeah, taxes are probably the first thing that we look at when we're looking at a portfolio, because one of the most important things about your assets are the tax qualification of those assets. So if you have a 401k, how much of it is traditional? How much of it is Roth? If you have brokerage accounts, are they qualified accounts or non-qualified accounts? How much is in the bank? Things like that. Determining the tax status and qualification of your investments is the first stop. Taxes are a huge concern. They're a big expense for retirees, and even with the recent expansion of the big beautiful bill, there are still limitations as far as how much you can avoid in taxation if your assets are positioned a certain way.
Mhm. Next, we have our largest potential expense, healthcare.
Yeah, we talk about healthcare quite a bit. It's medical and health insurance is one part of it, but we talk about long-term care quite a lot too.
Right.
Most people know, most long-term care, if it's in the home versus a facility, it's somewhere between $6,000 to $10,000 a month, maybe. If that happens for too long of a time period, healthcare can certainly become a prohibitive factor in your financial planning.
Mhm.
So either insuring against it or saving up enough assets to pay for it or having some plan against it is the next place to go. So take care of
Mhm.
taxes and then make sure that your major health expenses, including how to pay for them, are taken care of after that.
Right. And then that brings us to number three here, which is the silent thief, inflation.
Yeah, and inflation really is a portfolio killer. You hear the government and you hear different news channels talk about inflation metrics and numbers all the time and how they're always trying to tamp inflation down. Well, there's a misconception there between tamping inflation down and making inflation negative. If you look at this chart, you can see over the past 70 years, really, we haven't had negative inflation very much at all. That basically means that the cost of goods and the cost of most everything expands a little bit each year.
Right.
So, with that in mind, you not only need to be a moderate or moderately conservative investor or moderately aggressive, I don't know what everybody is, but you also need to adjust that risk to keep pace with inflation. And if all your portfolio is in something quite conservative like CDs or money markets, it may be safe, but it may not keep pace with the cost of inflation. Your spending
Mhm.
power will likely deteriorate over time. So it's just important to know that that can eat into the portfolio, even if it's not a line item that you see on your statement.
Right. Such a delicate balance between that growth and protection. Well, Nolan, clearly you live in this world. You have a plan for all of these retirement expenses. So if somebody wants to make sure that their plan incorporates all of this, what's the best way to reach you?
Well, by phone, they can call 616-301-2581 or our website, which is cornerstone-rp.com. And if you have a question, you can just use the contact us box at the bottom of the page.
Great. Nolan, thank you.
Thanks, Erin.